Hello, welcome to episode 2 of Littlebottom's playthrough, mess around with Kerbal Space Program. Yeah, let's show you what's new then. As you can see, this rocket's slightly different than it was before. I've just made a few changes. So, originally it was just this middle rocket with those 4 solid rocket boosters on the outside. But now I've added an additional stage in between those of just as powerful, with just as much fuel as the main rocket. 4 of them. Obviously they've got to carry their own weight, and it's going to be... Get off that. It's going to be dead weight in the middle until I turn the rockets on for that. So I've got to counteract all this dead weight with a few extra rockets, at least in theory, so that I actually get a beneficial amount of fuel, a beneficial amount of fuel left by the same point, if you get what I mean. So I've got more fuel left and I'll get further into space. That's the idea. Yeah, my ideas never go well. Look at the moon in the distance. There we go. That's a nice launch angle. So, are you ready, Mr. Jebediah? I'll take that as a yes. 3, 2, lost. SAS is already on. Thank God I checked that. Oh, are we spinning slightly? No, we're keeping it in check. It's keeping it in check. Nice. To the moon. Fly me to... No. We'll get there one day. With this man at the helm, Jebediah. Oh, we're running low on fuel already. It hasn't got us anywhere near as far as it did before. So let's fire the next stage, throttle it up, drop those. Yep, it's going successful so far. Woo! That is good news. Throttle back a bit, I think. Velocity's getting a little bit high for while we're in the atmosphere. If you haven't seen any Kerbal before, there's lots of things to it that I didn't bother explaining in the first episode because you just wanted to watch things explode, I guess. But now we're here in the second episode. If you're still watching with me and you don't know already, which I find quite unlikely, there's a lot of real... a lot of real science going into it. Overshot it, go back. There we go. No. There we go. A lot of real science going into it. So when you're in the lower atmosphere, so if you look at the top, you've got like the first section of atmosphere where the atmosphere is at its thickest, you get a lot of resistance against your thrust. So you have to try not to waste as much fuel, because the harder you push against it, the harder it pushes back. So you're just wasting fuel at that point for more resistance. So you've got to find that sweet spot. See, now we're getting up to over 800 meters a second. We're flying fine now. Let me just kill the engines for a second. Check the map. Let me have a look at our apoapsis. Not high enough. Let's keep that throttle going. So yeah, I'm about to kill all these 4 engines, so let's start the next one and drop them off. There we go. Didn't even spin, which is usually what happens. But now, as you can see, let's drop the throttle all the way down. Bring you back up, I'm going to need you. Zoom out a bit. The apoapsis is more than sufficiently high, and that shot up a lot because when I threw that extra weight off, even though I had far less force from one rocket, I still had the momentum, and you know, the single rocket pushing itself is a lot less demanding because of its much lower weight, so it shot up quite quickly at that point. So yes, we've got quite a neat... Yeah, see, it's in line with the moon. If you get... Well, I can't really point it because I've got to right click to turn it. So yeah, it's kind of pretty level with the moon's orbit, you see. It's kind of on line with that's the moon's orbit. Let me show you. Zoom right out. That is the moon going around Kerbin. That's the orbit it takes. So what we kind of want is to be on the same sort of plane, same orbit as it, so that we can get a lot more successfully close to it at different points in its orbit easier, if you get what I mean. Yeah. I know roughly what's going on, but it doesn't help sometimes. Okay. So we got 1 minute and 30 something to get there. Let's turn ready. No, back a bit. That'll do. So we're almost flat horizontal. The reason we do that is so when we hit this point, the highest point in our orbit, the apoapsis, we're horizontal to the planet, which means all the force will go in that direction over there, and hopefully cause this to spread out and make a proper orbit. That's the theory. We're going with it. Alright, let's speed up time to get a bit closer, because we want to do it as close as possible. Too much. Almost overshot it. As close as possible to the apoapsis. As you can see, it says T minus 10, 9. So that's how long it's going to take before we get there. 5, that'll do me. Powering up. And now it's going up again because we're pushing ourselves in that direction. So our highest point's actually slightly moving away from us. But I'll just kill it and wait till we get closer again. Because the closer we are, the more fuel efficient we're being. So there we go. Let's fire them up. We're doing well. Look at that blue line. That's where we're going to head. And we're shooting that miles off from us now. Let's speed up just a touch. Let's get us back on track. Right, 2, speed up. See, we're getting a lot of thrust out of a lot of momentum out of a little bit of thrust at the moment. Velocity even. 2, 1, let's do it right now. See, we're just a tiny touch and we're... it doesn't help that I've actually shifted from the horizontal by this point. So I've just overshot it. So now... There we go, and now I've actually pushed it back out. There we go. You see this PE, the periapsis, that's the closest point in orbit. The fact we have a periapsis kind of means that we're in orbit. Let's even this out. We're at 126, so we want it to be about 126-ish. There we go. Okay, that's gone up to 136 now because we've pushed it out. But that circle around Kerbin, the fact it completes a complete circle around Kerbin, means we're in orbit. A lot quicker than I thought would be, to be honest. I was not quite expecting this rocket to be all that successful. I haven't been checking my fuel. No, we've got enough fuel to certainly get back. Yeah. I'm quite proud of that. Right, so let's make this orbit a little bit bigger, shall we? We'll just float round. Float round to our new apoapsis. And we'll get to that point. And I'll forget that I'm now pointing in the opposite direction. I need to go all the way around to the other side. Fast forward a tiny bit more. Wrong button. Wrong button again. Look at my keyboard. There we go. Found it. So we're getting closer and closer again. And what we're going to do this time is just make a bigger orbit. Because right now we're really quite close to Kerbin. We'll be in orbit, but I want a slightly bigger orbit. So we're basically there. We don't have to be that close on the apoapsis for this. So power that out. Yeah. Bit bigger, bit bigger, bit bigger. Call it 100, 1 million. Let's get to 1 million. There we go. It's a nice big figure. And then to circularize the orbit, make it round again instead of an egg shape. We speed time up all the way again. Get all the way back around here. I can speed it up a little bit more, but then it gets really fast. I don't want to overshoot. And slow it right down again because I forgot. As you remain to point in the same direction as you once were as you float around. So you'll see the ball kind of underneath that represents your orientation to the planet will shift underneath you. That's because You're staying in the same direction, even though you're floating around in a big circle. So, yes. Oh, I can't. Here we go. See, 40 seconds. At this point, I'm not that fussed. 40 seconds is close enough, because it's 41 minutes to get to the other side. So we're just making that about the, there we go. About the same. Yeah, it's a bit bigger now. But there we go. We've got quite a nice, relatively circular orbit around Kerbal. And we've got 81 liquid fuel left for which to return. So let's let him get a little bit dizzy, shall we? Let's just speed up time and watch him zip round. Okay, that was a bit much. I do believe he's been in space now for a whole day. If I keep zooming out, this is our little Kerbal system. A little solar system for Kerbal. As you notice, suspiciously, we're the third rock from the sun. Yeah, and most of the planets have the relative analogue on this. That's basically Mars, so on and so forth. Obviously, the gas giants and stuff is a bit more difficult to do, but you get the idea. It's a very general sort of similar to our own solar system, really. And we actually have, though, a second moon. See this? All the way over here? It's called Minmus. It's another moon that orbits Kerbal. So we'll certainly be making a mission to get to Minmus before we make a mission to get to any of the other planets. I'll tell you that much. I've been playing this game for a little while. I've never reached one of the other planets. So fingers crossed, eh? But we've had a certainly very nice little orbit here now, and we're spanning round till he's sick and dizzy. We're going to return him. I think that's the nice thing to do at this point. Yeah, down to warp 1. Apparently I was still at warp 2. Whoopsie. Alright, now to get back into the solar system. What am I talking about? To get back into the atmosphere of the planet, you don't want to burn directly towards the planet. If you fire your engines facing that way, you will move closer to the planet, but you'll move in a big spiral. So you'll spiral and get closer and closer and closer and closer, and you'll waste loads of fuel. Your best way to do it is to... we're currently going round anti-clockwise. So if we fire clockwise on our orbit, what will happen is, rather than going round and round and round, we'll go and get slowed right down, and gravity will do most of the work, and we'll go splat. So that's the theory, and let's put it to the test. Firing full. Hope we've got enough fuel to get us back. Ooh, yeah, we'll be fine. As you can see, it shrinks it pretty quick, and we're already going to hit the planet now, but might as well keep burning, because we'll hit the planet sooner. There we go. Used all that fuel up, and now we're heading straight back to the planet, really. And we're no longer in orbit. So let's speed up a bit, because it's going to take a little while, because we're very far away from the planet right now. Ooh, oh, that was a bit too much. And a little bit more. Yeah, and we're back in the atmosphere, which means we can only speed up time by a few points. We're going to spin back around, repeat the process we did last time, but we're heading towards the planet almost dead on. Face that way a bit more. There we go. And a hell of a lot faster than we were last time, so that's not good. Look at the speed we're crashing into this planet. Are we in the middle of the ocean? Is there any land nearby? There's some land. Look how fast we're crashing into this planet. Yeah, we've gone through the upper atmospheres. Look how fast we're even getting, like, jet stream, not jet streams. What's the word? I don't know. Those special effects coming off of us. Alright, let's ditch you. We're getting near now, and 500's the magic number for the parachute deploying properly. So let's deploy it now, so it properly deploys. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's a special term that I don't know. so that it actually slows our descent. Let's speed up a little bit because we know we're safe up until 500. Yeah, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, we're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Slow right down, slow right down. Oh, that was the sound of the rest of the rocket there we go. Hitting the water. And now we drift very slowly back down. And again, just fast forward time. I'd quite like to not, go, oh, okay, I'm done with this mission. Just scrap it and go back. I'd quite like to land it and then recover it, just because it's more, not authentic, but, it's more fun to think that they've actually spent that time up there and done that mission, and now that's a little tick on their record sheet that they've been into space. Jebediah, the first Kerbal ever into orbit around Kerbin. See? Isn't that nice? Yeah, he's doing a little dance. Little Jebediah. He's our hero. First Kerbal into space around Kerbin. When I speak English, we'll get there. Okay then. We have done amazingly spectacular. Let's head back to the Space Center and recover him. We don't want to leave him there. He's over here. That's where he splashed down on the planet. And our Space Center is in the dark over here somewhere. That's on the other side of the planet. I was like, what? No, it's over here. I think that's it, just there. So we've gone all the way around. We spam around the planet many, many times. And we splash down on the other side of the planet. So we'll just recover you. Yes, we want to recover you. And you've been brought straight back to base. Isn't that nice? Awesome. So, our first orbit ever. We're getting through this quick. Yeah, I'm quite impressed. I really am impressed. Yeah, I'm slightly shocked actually. When I first started playing this, I was horrifically bad, and I haven't played it for a while, so I thought might be in for some trouble. But no, we've been doing well. Once I make the ship a little bit better again this time around, I think I'm gonna just improve it a little bit more. Do another test run, see sort of what mileage we get for the fuel, and soon start to look at making a permanent space base or something. I should throw a few satellites up just to spin around in orbit and never come back down with Kerbals that we don't care about. We certainly want to hit the moon. We certainly want to get to the moon sooner rather than later. So we'll send a mission up there. Hopefully we can land him and get him back to the planet. That's the plan. That was the Mark II Space Explorer. It was quite successful, to be honest. I'm impressed. For the next episode, I think I'll have the Mark III finished. Give you a quick introduction of what I've done for changes, and we'll launch straight into the next episode then. What's our mission going to be for the next one? I think our next one is going to be a permanent orbit around Kerbal. It's just like a satellite. Send up one of our less important Kerbals. And just put him in orbit and leave him there. But we'll do it a fair bit further out. Might see... would it be an idea to stick a docking port on it and make it space there? No, that's way too ambitious at the moment. Yeah, we'll just stick a couple of satellites up in the next episode, just for kind of practice, see how close we can get them with how much fuel we've got left, and so we can have a good idea if we're gonna make it to the moon, and how much fuel we might have left, because we're gonna have to stick a lander on top of that. So we want a good bit of fuel left at that point, because it's going to be heavier than we originally predicted with our tests. Kerbal Space Program. It makes you think, and it makes your brain hurt. Alright, thank you for watching this one. That was a successful mission. Nobody actually died. Huzzah. And I will be trying to keep the death count to a minimum. Yeah. Hopefully. Keep the death count to a minimum. So far for the series, death count 1. We'll see what we get up to by the time I start the career mode. Alright then, thank you for watching. I will see you in episode 3. Bye bye!